and welcome to this Carved in Blue Denim Think Tank webinar. My name is Michael Kinnemonth. I am a member of the Lensing Denim team, and I'll be your moderator today. Just as a point of note, we will be recording this webinar, and it will be uploaded to our Blue Lens video channel on YouTube. The subject of this webinar is a project related to the circular economy. Many commentators say that we must standardize and scale up the circular economy to achieve an increase in global prosperity. The daily burden of environmental harm being inflicted on our planet and on our global population is clearly excessive. In the simplest terms, realizing a true circular economy is seen as one of the most important issues of our time. How we reverse the tide of wastefulness, how we reduce carbon emissions, must be at the forefront of our collective thinking as individuals, as organizations, and as institutions. We are pushing planetary boundaries to their limits, with climate change and threats to biodiversity as just a few examples. Significant impacts are already being felt, and both people and planet face potentially catastrophic and irreversible consequences if we don't urgently change our global model and systems. You only have to witness what is happening with the wildfires in Western United States to see that what is happening. Our current linear take, make, waste models of production and consumption will not be sustainable in a world of some 9 billion people in 2050. We need more than just incremental modifications to business as usual. The circular economy is reported as offering a powerful means to decouple growth from the use of either scarce or harmful resources. Doing so should enable greater production and greater consumption with fewer negative environmental impacts. According to Lise Kingo, the CEO of the United Nations Global Compact, the take, make, and waste mindset is difficult to break away from, but we are fast approaching a point of no return. Just like many other industries, the $2.4 billion apparel industry is at a crossroads. In the US alone, nearly 17 million tons of textile waste is collected each year, with 11 million tons destined for landfill and 3 million tons incinerated. Less than 1% of textiles is recycled into new materials. What is the future of fashion? How do we develop circularity to reduce landfill waste? Is it possible to create advantage in circular economy? Is the circular economy revolution really here? What does it mean for your business? How innovators can adapt the right mindset for the 21st century is a question that many of us are wrestling with right now. Creating a blueprint for working together, Lensing, Officina 39, and Meidea teamed up to develop the Circle Book, a lookbook of low-impact apparel for today's consumers. The project is appropriately entitled Act Together. So we'll kick off with Andrea from Officina, who is going to give a background about how Act Together came together, and he will pass on to Lucia, who will present the design elements of the Circle Book. I will then highlight a little bit about Lensing's participation from a fiber perspective, and Andrea will complete the story with a technical explanation of what is Resecram. At the end of the webinar, we'll have a Q&A session in order to answer any questions you may have. So now I will pass on to Andrea to introduce himself and his company and explain the background of this project. Andrea.
Thanks a lot, Michael. Hi, everybody. Thanks to join today our webinar. It's a big pleasure for us to have all of you here. Thanks a lot. I'm Andrea Venier. I'm the Managing Director of Officina Plus 39. We are an Italian chemical company. And during last years, we dedicated mainly our effort to develop new technologies thinking about better chemistry, better dyestuffs for our environment, for a better future. So really, we like to call this path that we started a few years ago trust-enabled. So inside this concept, we included our best practices, our best technology, our best innovation. Now, coming to the subject of this webinar and the project that we developed with Lenzing and with Meidea, please take note that firstly, this project born as a concrete example of what we call collaboration for a circular economy. Act together at the end means this: work together, sharing ideas and vision. The project was developed during the peak of COVID-19 and the lockdown in Italy, in Austria, in Europe, as well in US. So really, we had to face a lot of challenge to develop this project during that time. But really, this was a really interesting experience for all of us. This why we'd like to share with all of you this experience. And if we are talking about the fashion, we know and we are all aware that fashion must change. And for sure, the pandemic, COVID-19, has accelerated the reflection in progress. The coronavirus represents for sure the biggest crisis, but also the biggest challenge that we have to change really our fashion sector. With the Lenzing, Michael, Trisha, and Lucia, we talked a lot during last month, and really, the cycle book is something concrete that we like to offer, aimed to the fashion designer and the brands. Really, the cycle book that Lucia later will introduce us as a decorative part of this project is would like to be a new way, a way to trace a new way of designing sustainable fashion. Really, what has been amazing during the development of the cycle book has been the way how we found a new balance using digital technologies and the physical developments. This is something that also Lucia can show you how many panel legs we developed, how many means few panel legs we developed to create the collection. So really what we did, and this the experience that really we'd like to share with you, that we can develop a collection, we can develop an amazing collection, reducing the waste, reducing the time, reducing also the investment, reducing the cost to make a collection. This is what we learned during this project. And so practically the new balance between using digital technologies and developing only the necessary in the R&D stage has been the goal of this project. For the future, I really believe that will be less fashion show, most probably, less luxury and waste, but more attention to sustainability and creativity. And this is what inspired the cycle book. For sure, Refibra and Resecram, Refibra from Lenzing, Resecram from us, Officina Professionale, are good ambassadors for this, for the circularity. Act Together has been and is a virtual and contagious, in this case not dangerous, as coronavirus, call to action, which becomes a valid reason to send a positive message to an industry tried hard by the pandemic, but which, despite the lockdown and forced isolation that we passed due to coronavirus, continues to produce innovation, collaboration, and new initiatives. So I think this is the best message that we can send to our sector, to the supply chain, to the brands. I pass the line now to Lucia that can start to introduce the cycle book. Thanks.
Thank you, Michael, and thank you, Andrea. First of all, I am Lucia Rosin. I am the head designer of Meidea, creative company that is based in northeast of Italy. We work for many areas in fashion industry. We work in 360 degrees. we create a kind of slogan for our creativity. There is a traceability of creativity. So we are working since our foundation in 2004 for the sustainability. And we push in any project we do. We work with mills, with laundry, with fashion brand, and accessory company. After we talk with Andrea and Trisha, before on the pandemic, everything started, I think it's like, you know, more than 7 months ago. And we decide to create a book, a designing book, to present all the steps during the collection creation. What is important for the designer, for the aware designer, but also for the student, for all the companies that are involved in any project, is to trace every single act they do. And this is very important, especially for the designer, because our dedication, is our idea, our main purpose is to trace every single action. So when we decided to do it, was before pandemic, as Andrea said, and the idea was to create something tangible, something that was real. But at the end, when we start to visit the laboratory, when we start to collect all the fabric from many mills in the world, we immediately can decide to start to make something digital. And what is important, especially that you will see later when you download the book, that in this way, you're able to receive a kind of digital. So as Andrea mentioned, something that's between digital, that is all the design that we realize, and also the physical things that are the leg to. During the realization of this circle book, we analyze all the steps. So as I say, starting from the fiber, from Refibra, and from lensing, that is Tencel. This is a good example in how the things can be circular. And then we take all different mills. So we select mills coming from any parts of the world, like, you know, Santanderina, Royo, Çelik denim from Turkey, and other mills from China. We analyze all the single steps. Okay, we decide to make 4 groups. We don't want to create a trend book. We want just offer an overview, how you can realize something. So at the end, this is also not dedicated to any special season, because we believe that give a long-lasting, more long life to the product is one of the answers for circularity. That's why there is no season in this book. Of course, this contains some garments that can be dedicated to summer, but others can be more flexible for the winter. Another important point, and as you know better than me, as a laundry, that's with our treatment, we are able to enlarge the performance of each fabric. For example, the same fabric, treated or non-treated, can offer a different perspective on the garment. Here, the first group we call tailored contour is an answer to the relaxed and elegant things during the pandemic. So we would like to wear with a very, very elegant garment, but in the meantime, we need comfort with the loose. And we use a lot of, you know, fabric that contain 100% Tencel or Refibra in order to give elastic and performance and comfort loose appearance to the garment. The second group, textility, is very important because we use the same fabric as the previous group, but we treated and we overdyed with colors that are more resistant. So at the end, it's the same fabric with a different attitude. And here we have some detailed elements that are for commuting things. For example, reflective elements for the knee, as you can see from here, or other detail in the garment. The next group, nomad ensemble. This is more dedicated to the younger generation. This is more, let's say, treated with, sorry for the bell. This is over-treated, and here especially we combine denim and non-denim together. So, and over-dye with very bright color. Here, as you can see, we also combine elements to dye the garment, but also treated with laser in order to create a kind of tie-dye that is repeat. So you can have the same face on the garment. And the last group is Bold Keeper. Again, same fabric, but organized and treated in a different way. This is the group that we are more dedicated for young generations, extremely loose garment, and there is a combination of fiber that are coming from hemp and linen in order to have much more natural fiber combined with Tencel and Refibra. And also the color that you can see are, later I can explain, and also Andrea can explain, are coming from the combination of all the chemical. They are absolutely chemical. They are not impacting on environmental. Tailor comfort. This is another very important that we realized during the lockdown. We call this a combination between the sketches, so the digital things, combined with, you know, the real leg too. And this is what we call digital. As you can see, this is an example. We realized all the collection only by using this kind of material. So we have a little less amount of waste, because at the end we decide to treat all the leg tube instead to make garment. This is very interesting because, of course, as laundry, you can well understand how many garments you're going to treat every time you're going to realize the collection for the brands, for your own garment, for your own collection. But with this combination, we decide to make high resolution picture here and also apply this high resolution picture directly on the garment. At the end, all the outfit is really, you know, defined and represent exactly the final look of the garment. In the right side, you can see you have all the elements they are combining and they are including in the garment. So all the detail about the treating, all the detail about, you know, the fabric. For the next, same idea. So also what is interesting here, we combine with Resecram, that maybe Andrea later we are going to explain the technical detail. We are going to combine different fabric. For example, we combine shirting garment with jersey together. What is important, because we like to even to absorb the color in a different way. So this tone for us represents something that is very elegant. To the third one, here, as you can see, we combine the elements to the fabric. So denim and non-denim together. And again, as you can see, we also treated the jacket with a laser in terms of to have, because it's very superficial dye. So here, the laser can work much more better. The next group, touch utility. Here, as you can see from the total outfit, we have some elements. As I said before, we have some fabric that are coming from the previous group, some like, you know, Santanderina and Royal fabric. They are overdyed with very bright and resistant color, but they are, of course, very superficial color that you can play and work very well with laser. To make much more technical aspect, we decide to apply some little resin. In this way, we have 100% fabric, they are cotton and some elastane, but can be entered in the circle. So here we have applied just a little resin, but at the end it looks like polyester, but is 100% cotton. In the next outfit, here, as I explained, this is for commuting. We apply some little elements in the garment that are reflective. So it's the same fabric, but using a different way. So the patches that you can see on the knee are just the same fabric with some treating on the top. Okay, go the next. Okay. Here, the elements are much more aggressive. As I told you before, we decide to use a kind of dégradé or even some tie-dye or aggressive discharging elements by overdying. So here, for example, we combine denim and non-denim overdyed together. And this is much more easy because this makes your life much more easy. Things that sometimes to make this kind of combination, you need to pre-dye or pre-treat the garment and then open again and put it again together. So in this way, you have to think in a clever way. So you can put together the same fabric, treat it with some non-impacting elements or environment or chemical, and overdyed. So at the end, aspect is very natural. So go the next one. Here, as you can see, again, for the lady, you have the same garments treated again with, you know, elements like this. And what is interesting, we overdyed the jersey with indigo, and then we treat it by laser. This is also interesting because we can create this look by laser without using manual effect, but only by laser. Go the next one. Okay, this is also very beautiful. And we decide to use a fabric that is Candiani. And this is very interesting fabric. This is organic cotton plus refibra. And we use inside, reverse, inside out. And then the garment is treated with, you know, a kind of effect is very natural and is kind of earth effect. This is very drapey and soft. Go the next group. The ball keeper, as explained, this is elements. Again, same fabric, but treated in a different way. And this is, you know, very nice and natural also the mood that you create, because at the end, the same fabric again is treated with very shiny and transparent resin in order to give effect to have a nylon or polyester, but is 100% natural. And then the last one. Yeah, here the last one is contained elements of hemp in the fabric. That is very trendy fiber right now, with some easy discharging. This all, as Andrea explained before, this all again using a kind of ozone effect without using the ozone machine. This is almost the group. This is just, you know, an input for you to start to work, but let's say starting from the beginning till the end to trace all the steps during the collection creation. Thank you, and I give you the words to Andrea.
Thanks, Lucia. Before going to the technical parts, let me just tell you something more about the logo. If you noted, the logo of the cycle book has been designed by Meidea, is the creative partner, thinking about the SDG, so the Sustainable Development Goals of the UN. So really, just before giving the line to Michael, just to remember that here we are really trying to face and to address our effort to the development goals 2030. I think is a big challenge for all of us, for our industry, but really is the right time to do that.
At Lenzing, we manufacture cellulosic fibers. Hopefully, most of you would have heard the name Tencel. So Tencel is the brand name for the generic fiber lyocell, and this came into the market. It was launched commercially in 1992. And it was unique in the fact that it was the first fiber to be developed purely on environmental principles. And at that time, although that was the unique selling point, nobody really cared. You know, at every meeting there would be there would be one slide at the end of a presentation, and nobody really would be interested in environmental stories. Refibra is the name we've given to something that is effectively the next series of Tencel, what I call Tencel 2.0. So it has all the benefits of the original fiber, but it's manufactured with recycled content. So this was launched back in 2017, and Refibra is the product of a chemically upcycled cotton waste. And we use that waste to make a new virgin fiber. What you see from the diagram is that you can take cotton waste, we convert that cotton waste into a cellulosic pulp, and right now that waste is a mixture of both post-industrial and post-consumer cotton waste. We then take that pulp and we blend it with our wood pulp, and the ratio is 30% cotton waste pulp and 70% wood pulp. We add water and a solvent, and the solvent is later recovered in what's known as a closed loop process, and it's reused over and over and over again. We also add a fiber identification so that you can have complete transparency in the sense that you are able to verify if Refibra is present in the final fabric or the final garment. Refibra fiber has the same strength, the same elongation, the same softness as the original Tencel. So there's no loss of performance and there's no loss of aesthetic. Our goal going forward is to increase the waste content to 50% by 2024. On this project, we work with several fabric mill partners.
And really, as you know, fashion is still currently deeply rooted in a linear approach, means make, use, and dispose. Our main product that we used in this collection has been Resecram, that, as I told you, for sure is our best ambassador in terms of sustainability and in terms of circular economy. Resecram, for those who don't know, is we are calling really a revolutionary dye stuffs, because what we developed a few years ago, we patented, is a way to transform textile waste into a very fine powder, the picture that you can see on your right. And really, we are using that powders that are cotton or cellulosic fibers in general to replace the conventional dyes, to replace the pigments. This is a project that is focused and addressed to the brands and retailers, and of course for all the vendors, partner of those brands that want really to invest in a real sustainable concept. Then in the collection, as Lucia said, we introduced our latest technology for denim, that mainly here we are talking about the potassium permanganate replacement. As you know, this is one of the hot topics during last months, last years. Our product is named Remover in J, and this is potassium permanganate free. And we strongly believe this is a good alternative for potassium permanganate. The big advantage of our Remover in J that doesn't need any oven or tumbler dryer, so you don't need any temperature to be activated the product. So just you are spraying like permanganate, and then as permanganate, just wait sometimes at the air, and the product is starting to work. After that, you have to wash using some special detergent that we developed, including one new one named Kema Eco. That is a new product that is better chemistry compared to the conventional ones. And also the other advantage of Remover in J that can work also on indigo, but as well on black denim. As you know, one of the big problem is about the potassium permanganate replacement is obtain a wide discharging into the black fabrics. This is working in general on indigo, on the black, in general on the sulfur dyes, as well on our NEOBUDI series that I will introduce to you later. The sister product of Remover in J for sure is a new development that we are calling Remover Ito, that is for towel application mainly, and is another interesting product that we introduced also in this collection. Then we are talking about Smart Bleach. We use the Smart Bleach in this collection. Smart Bleach is an innovative bleaching technology that mainly has been designed to be used in the nebulization system, in the fog system. The system that we know can be the most popular in the market are the Core by Tonello or eFlow by Geneurgia. And the smart bleach so can replace the potassium permanganate as well chlorine, and playing in the nebulization system, really we can obtain bleaching effects, reducing drastically the water consumption and the chemical usage. So really this can be a good proposal for those brands need to bleach, but they don't want to use chlorine or potassium permanganate, and mainly they want to reduce the chemical consumption and the water consumption. NEOBUDI D is the other dyestuffs range that we use in the cycle book. These different from Resecram because NEOBUDI are the synthetic dyestuffs, but here is a different approach of sustainability in our point of view, because NEOBUDI is a dyestuff range that we developed to be used again in the atomized nebulization fog system. So really the big advantage is using this technology that we can reduce the water consumption, the liquid ratio. So we are working, for example, for the dark color 1:1, so 1 kilo garments in 1 liter of solution. And we are working at cold temperature during the dyeing application. Nowadays we can do the pre-treatment and the dyeing also in the same machinery, so in the atomized system. And what is the big news? That with NEOBUDI we can obtain a very leveled look. As you know, using dye stuff like reactive dyes in this type of machinery, usually you are obtaining more the cold pigment look, so a cloudy or unleveled look. With the NEOBUDI, we solved the problem, and we can obtain an original vintage look, but also with a very leveled look. And the big advantages is the NEOBUDI D, the D series is the discharging means, and this series can be discharging using our remover in J, smart bleach, and the next product that we introduce is ozone powder. So really the other advantage is that here we can replace also to discharge the NEOBUDI, we can use the replacement of potassium permanganate. So when we developed NEOBUDI, we closed our total solution that we can offer to the brands, to the laundries, to offer a total solution to replace permanganate on denim, on black denim, as well on the garment dyeing. So this is NEOBUDI. And the last product that we just started to launch this month in the market, this really has been something developed during the lockdown, born during the lockdown here in Italy, and we started to develop as soon we were able to open again our R&D center. And ozone powder is an advanced product for garment treatment to give bleached and distressed and warm look. We developed this product thinking to the laundries mainly, because all of us, we are aware that the coronavirus virus, the COVID-19 crisis, the economic crisis will impact a lot in our industry, will impact a lot in our future investments. So really, when we developed this concept has been to give one option to the washing units, to laundries, to offer to the brands a better solution than potassium permanganate, than chlorine, to obtain a similar look than ozone machinery, but in the conventional machine. So the big advantage of this product that can be used in the conventional machinery and obtain bleaching look that can replace, so means that we can replace with this ozone powder the potassium permanganate and the chlorine, and we can obtain similar look than ozone machinery. As you know, ozone has been recognized till now one of the best solutions to replace the potassium permanganate, for example, or chlorine chemicals. But really, what we are worried is for the coming months, coming years, that the industry will have less capacity to invest in new machinery. And so this is the idea. So it is one of the options to have a technology that can be used in the same conventional machinery, but with better impact on the environment. Because at the end, what is clear for us that we cannot come back to the innovation that we achieved during last years in terms of sustainability in our industry. So one of the risks that we can see as players in our industry, that one of the risks will be that due to the crisis, we can come back to the previous stage. Means that, you know, to achieve some result in sustainability in our industry took a lot of time. Hard job, all of us, our friends and the laundries did an amazing job, and all of us together, we tried to push in a better way our industry. But really, we have to say in very frankly way, and we have to analyze in very concrete way, there is a risk nowadays. The risk due to the crisis that we can come back. So I think we have to work all together to avoid that. We have to try to offer in the market better technology at a reasonable cost. That's the reason that we developed this product. That's the reason that in the coming weeks, our distributors worldwide will receive the product to start first trials with all our customers. Mojin, any news from Michael?
Now, can I say something, Andrea?
Please,
before,
Lucia.
What is very important for a design point of view? I'm working since many years collaborating with laundry, and you, as a designer, you have to know very well how the impact is, you know, affecting on the garment, on our skin, and on environmental first. So, and for us to give this message with Act Together, we want to also transmit to the designer the real, you know, they have to dig, they have to investigate in more together with you or laundry, you know, the aspect in dyeing things. That's why, you know, when we say Act Together, that's why we want to involve many actors, like a laundry, like a mills, like the designer, like, you know, even the student, because we have to really to make a different, you have to work in a different way. We have no chance for the future if don't act. You know, even when we save money, we have to think how this is going to affect in the final product. And this is, you know, very important. What we represent here, even when you are doing the trial, when you're developing, you know, all the garment in the laundry, you have to survey all the phases. So this is something that is our message. And I want to remark, because I think that's the collaboration as we did, but also what is happening in any parts of the world are the future. Collaborating, sharing ideas, work together for a better future. Otherwise, there will be no future for all of us.
Lucia, just as you are talking about collaboration, I think it's very important to mention the mills that supported us in this project, that has been from Europe, two from Spain, Arroyo and Santanderina, one from Italy, Candiani, then we Çelik from Turkey, and then from China, we had Prosperity and Tatfun. So really, those mills also gave us a big support during the global lockdown. And really, we appreciate it a lot. And really, as Lucia said, the Act Together is a call to action. We started 3 players. Lucia, we made Meidea about the creative part. Lenzing, no need any presentation. So it's one of the most innovative, biggest fibers company worldwide, and Officina Plus 39. Really, plus those denim mills that I just mentioned. So really, the idea is to work more on this, and this is an open platform, and we are starting to think the next steps about this platform, about the Act Together, about the cycle book. So any suggestion, any comments, please let us know, because really we are really we are waiting for you, so to share ideas all together. This is the color card that we developed for the project. This made NEOBUDI, and the second card has been done using the Resecram. This you can see the eco marble effect.
Okay, just to wrap up the session. So right now our industry needs to reduce the 50 million tons of textiles and apparel waste discarded annually. Every year there's 105 million tons of fibre produced. So effectively, when we look across all new fibre production, we are throwing away half of what we produce every year, which is quite shocking. The current situation that we find ourselves in seems to have accelerated the change in consumer attitudes towards responsible manufacturing, requiring companies to adopt production models utilizing renewable energy, as well as continual innovation in circular business models. Now would seem to be the time to act. Natural resources are under increasing pressure, and according to the authors of the book Waste to Wealth, it is estimated that $4.5 trillion of global GDP in 2030 is at stake from resource constraints. This is equivalent to the current size of the German economy, which is the fourth largest in the world. The book goes on to conclude that if adopted at scale, the circular economy has the chance to unlock this value and continue on its current economic growth trajectory. Currently, the global economy generates demand for natural resources equivalent to that required by 1.7 planets. Comparisons have been made pointing out that the car industry is making great progress in the area of circularity, which is fine in a high-tech, high-margin industry. The question is, however, how easy will that transition be in a low-tech, low-margin industry such as the textile industry? Thank you for your attention.
Yes, I can see there are some in the chat, also in the Q&A. So there is Palash asking, can you make yarn fabric from plastic wastage? About Resecram, I think also Refibra, but Michael can confirm later. In case of Resecram, we have to use cellulose fibers to create Resecram. I think also Refibra need to use recycled Tencel and recycled cellulose. I told you the presentation, this is very important. So after this webinar, we will send you a link where you can download the cycle book. So all of you can download the book, and so you can check. And if you have any question after reviewing again the cycle book, please come back to us. Is Officina making dyes and chemical both suitable to treat organic cotton? Yes. In case of Officina Plus 39, you can also have a contact with our partners in different regions. You can contact Nazir, our team in Bangladesh, Karim Group in Pakistan, Elanco in Sri Lanka, all Tex Enzyme in India, and they can provide you all our GOTS approved chemicals. So Resecram, please share some concept of Resecram details like fast and properties. If you need, Hinamul, thanks for your question. If you need, please send me a mail. We can share with you more information. In general, I can tell you that Resecram have a good fastness, better than pigment. If you are talking about washing and rubbing fastness, light fastness is the only one that still now we are not able to control, because there is one logical reason. As you know, the light fastness depending from the dye stuffs used, from the molecular used to dye. And as here we are using textile waste, it depends from the original dye stuff used on the original fabric. So what is becoming our raw materials? So very easy. If the fabrics, the original fabric has been dyed using a good dye stuffs with good light fastness, also Resecram will have good light fastness. On the contrary, if the light fastness was poor on the original fabric, so the dye stuff used had the poor light fastness, also for us most probably will be poor. How we can solve that? We are starting to work in a project with a brand, with a company named Reverse Resources, that is also a member of Fashion for Good. We are Resecram Officina has been one of the innovations selected by Fashion for Good platform this year, and Reverse Resources has been one of the innovators selected by Fashion for Good in a few years ago. And with them, we are working a project to trace the scraps, the fabrics wastage that we are treating. So what we are asking to this company that is working in traceability is to trace the dye stuff used of the original fabrics. In that way, we will be able to solve the problem of the light fastness. So that means we will treat in the future only those scraps with good light fastness. During NEOBUDI, there is come is uneven. I think here it's very important to check the parameter of the machinery. So it's very important. Our technical team can support you to improve that. Thanks, Mazin, for this. Certification, as I told you, our team can provide you all the certification. We are in green screen. We have the EIM, we have the GOTS, Zero Discharge Hazard Chemical Certification, and this year we are starting Blue Sign. So hopefully also in the coming months, we'll be able to provide you the Blue Sign certification. We are using Remover in J, but not getting too intense. I think here, Remover in J is, we can try Sumon. Thanks a lot for your message. I think we can improve the discharging. Again, please contact us so we can plan trials with you. Natural dyes, here, in terms of natural dyes, we have a range of natural dyes, are very expensive, frankly speaking. And so, you know, we are Resecram, and then we have the natural dyes. Resecram for us is the best response, the best reply to our environment, because natural dyes need anyway to use natural resources. As you can understand, and really, when we developed Resecram, we were thinking about that. We were thinking that in the future, we cannot imagine a world where we are converting field for food in field for color. So imagine that if we have to convert food field in flowers to color our garments. I think this is not sustainable for the future, frankly speaking. So the reason that I think the best raw material that we can use is not natural dyes, but is recycling material. So we have to use our wastage. We are creating every day a huge amount of wastage. So this must be our main raw materials, not only in chemicals, not only in dyes, in our in general, it must be this the preferred raw material that we should try to use, our wastage. This is why we develop a Resecram. Of course, we have a natural dyes. If you are interested, just ask us. Hi, Andre, this is Fernando from American Eagle. Want to know the new chemical Ozone powder? Yes, will be available soon in Asia, as I told. And also natural dyes, we are working on that. Of course, it's better to use natural dyes than a conventional one, for sure. As I told you, cost is, for the original natural dyes, cost is very high. If you are finding in the market cheap natural dyes, cheap missing the cost, believe me, this, according to my experience, cannot be 100% vegetable, 100% natural, because natural, the extraction of colors from one flower is very complex, and you can obtain few grams each plant.
I have a question for you, Andrea. Are you guys experimenting with any bacteria-based dyes? So obviously, that's obviously something that's done in a laboratory. It could be natural indigo-based. It could be based on natural sources. Are you doing any experimentations or looking into this kind of field with your company, or something that you're not?
For the indigo?
For indigo, or for any other types of dyes that you can get?
Yeah, again, our best reply is recycled dye stuff, so Resecram also here.
Yeah.
What we're working also is in a project to recycle indigo fibers. And so this is under development, this project. So really, again, I think that vegetable dyes can be, we have in our range, and if our customer are interested, we can give all the information. Really, we have a very true natural dyes range. Means that, as I was telling, it's not nothing that is fake, is true natural, and true natural is costing a lot. But again, this is my point of view, and I would like just to share my point of view. I think that for a mass production, for the big numbers, vegetable dyes, frankly speaking, according to me, it cannot be the right reply to the emergency that we are facing, environmental emergency that we are facing in our world. means that for the small project, I think vegetable dyes, natural indigo is amazing. It's perfect for any craftsmanship developments. Is the right, because is logic to use for a small project, for a premium project to use natural dyes. But if you're thinking about mass production, if you're thinking about fast retailers, really, for me cannot be the solution. And frankly speaking, if a fast retailer is doing 1,000 pieces, just a capsule collection did by vegetable dyes, and the rest of 50 million pieces has been done with the conventional dyes, what we solved, what we improved? Nothing. So that's the reason that we developed at the time Resecram, and we worked a lot for that, because again, my real feeling is that in general, the wastage must become much more our first choice as raw materials. We are working internally, for example, now to develop a binder where we are recycling the some film that polyurethane film that are used in the safety glass. You know, in the cars there is the safety glass, and internally to the safety glass they put a layer of polyurethane film. So we are working now with a company to develop this binder coming from this recycled materials, so from this wastage that is becoming wastage. So I think the future should be more that than using natural resources, this economy. Try to reuse and make a real circular economy.
I also, in the past, I have many experience with natural dye for capsule collection, as you say, because at the end, there are very limited production in natural dye. So this is something that you can use also for limited, even because there is, you know, some problem with the light fasting. So at the end, this is very special things. It's very interesting what you ask, Musin, because also the bacteria can be the future, but of course will be a part. But nowadays, what I find out working with very big brand and company, this is a good chemical, a good way with, you know, saving resourcing and saving chemical. This is the way right now. So have a good approach on the chemical things, because otherwise you cannot think to produce 1,000 garments if you don't have a good chemistry that help you.
Yeah, I can see in Q&A some question about ozone powder, the mechanism, and we'll come back to you soon when the products will reach Asia, and of course we'll give you all the information about that. There isn't any fiber limitation, so really we can use in all the fibers that usually we are applying the bleaching conventional technology. So, and about the Resecram and then NEOBUDI, we did talk already a lot. So this, I think, was the.
So I just thank Andrea and sort of like Lucia for joining us, and Michael. He's had some technical problems, but it's gonna be fine.
Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us today. I can see that a lot of people joining us. It's a big pleasure. We keep in touch. Please contact us, contact our teams worldwide to receive information. And Lucia, please close.
Yeah, thank you so much. And if you have any question or, you know, a request, please also contact us. Yes, everything in when you download the Circle book, you can have the pleasure to receive something that is unique, because it's something that you realize in a special time of, you know, our life, and will be a good guide for all of us. And if you have, of course, as Andrea said, if you have any suggestion, any idea for the future, we are welcome to any, you know, things. So act together with us.
Act together. Thank you.
Ciao.
Ciao.